How are we doing today, YouTube? I hope all of you are doing great and getting some fat dubs in Apex this season. If you aren't though, and you and your boys are wondering, why aren't we winning more? Well, this might be the video for you. So round your squad up and get them in front of the computer, because I'm coming at you guys with my top 5 tips for playing better as a team and as a result, getting more wins. If you guys end up enjoying this video, remember, like and subscribe. I'm going to be making a solo queue to Masters guide next, so get hyped for that in the comment section. And if you want to see me keep grinding in ranked and finish the solo queue to Masters, and or answer your questions live, check me out at twitch.tv/princesima93. I stream pretty consistently most days around 5 to 10 Central Time, so come through. But with that, now let's get to the tips. Tip number 1 is going to be playstyle. And with that, I mean like understanding and committing to your team's preferred playstyle. So in any team of any type, chemistry is going to be key. So the first thing that is needed in any team is to get to know how each other plays, so you can best support your teammates. If you have one team that is very aggressive, or he's just cracked out of his mind, then allow him to be the first guy to a fight. If you are maybe the brainier guy of the team, maybe focus on rotation and finding the best spots to hold. Or maybe be the guy that wants to, hold down a spot or defend. Or be the guy that's like, I know the perfect time to third a fight, and you worry about making sure that your team gets in and out quickly. Developing as a team doesn't mean you just take a back seat. It means finding your niche within a squad and being the best you can at that role. During this time of finding your preferred roles, you will start to build that chemistry with your teammates, as well as figure out how you guys as a team like to play. Are you guys a team that lands on beacon and tries to defend from center zone? Or are you guys a team that hangs edge and catch people rotating late and get those edge fights and get that KP that way? The beauty of Apex is you can usually play many different styles depending on who is on the team, who you are, who you play. So as you guys start gelling, you'll really start to see kind of what works for you guys. It may take a little bit and there may be some growing pains, but stick with it. No team is great immediately. They all take time. So as you guys, start getting those results and start growing, you guys will just start really understanding how you guys go, and you'll start to be a better team. And you'll start seeing that, hey, this works for us. We can start kind of committing to this play style, and we're going to do this and we're going to repeat it. We're going to start building those good habits every single game, and eventually you'll really have something that you kind of love and you're always going to go to. And once you figure this play style out and you have it ingrained, tattooed in you guys' mind, it will lead to point number 2. Now you guys can focus on this next tip. And that next tip is team comp. Now you guys can start figuring out what legends you guys are going to play. So you guys figured out your playstyle. Now what are you guys going to run? So if I were ever to give a base for how to start thinking about building your team, I would kind of start like this. Pick one of the more aggressive characters or more offensive characters, then a recon legend, finally a defensive legend. From this base layout of a team, you can then start tweaking to your liking. Maybe go even more defensive or swap the recon for another offensive legend. This is going to be, as of Season 8. So, obviously, in the future, there's going to be buffs and nerfs that could change the viable legends. So, keep that in mind. And since I'm also mentioning, like offensive, defensive, recon, I'm going to give you quickly a list of how they are sorted out, as well as the viable legends, which, like I said, might change in the future. So to start with viable offensive characters, in no particular order, these are going to be Horizon, Wraith, Octane, and Revenant. Then recon characters, it's really just Bloodhound, maybe Path if you just really love Path. I don't include Crypto just because I think he's hard to play, and unless you have someone that's very dedicated to Crypto and a team that really centers him and his information, I think he's not as great as maybe a Bloodhound. And meta relevant defensive characters is mainly Caustic, and I know Jibby can be in a few other categories, but I kind of put him as more defensive because I think his biggest role is his bubble and his fast reses. Watson is also very solid still, I just don't think is as good as Caustic. The rest of the characters are either bad legends or don't have abilities that really help their teams enough to warrant me even recommending them to you, except like the very small exception could maybe be Lifeline because of her resing ability, but since her ultimate is so underwhelming really and gives away your spot, I don't really recommend her because she's not that great for a team and has a little bit of reset ability, but not enough I think to take a spot from another character. So with this breakdown, I think it's a good way of picking a team, and you can start kind of plugging in, taking them out, messing with your team comp, and really trying to figure out what works for you guys. So that's kind of how I would go about building that team. But now, let's jump ahead to something a little bit more personal. So tip number 3 is going to be team communication or the team comms. This is something that is very underrated on a lot of teams, but I think it might be the most important thing. This means don't talk about your day or any other little tedious comment or I don't know, thing in your mind that pops up. I know it's hard if you're like hanging with the boys, you're chilling, you're playing with them, and you guys want to talk about your day or any other thing that's going on. But if it isn't about the game, it's going to take your mind off what's going on. There have been so many moments where my teammates and I will be joking around about something, and we're being loud, and we didn't hear something, or we just lose focus of the game, you know? And then it leads to a bad performance, or we get third-partied, and we're not even paying attention. So when you're in the game, obviously more if it's in ranked, focus and talk about the game. That's how your team is going to perform better if you guys consistently build good habits about comms and don't lose focus. You're just going to be performing better because everyone's going to be in sync. With those more general communication things being said, I'm going to talk about more active comms needed during the fight. I recently got asked a question during stream, what should I be saying during the fights? Or what do you think at the very least I should be communicating to my teammates? I believe you honestly don't need to say every single thing. I'll say that I've gone in with some randoms and none of you have mics, and we've just gone straight off a ping, and their game sense and game knowledge is just so good. You just like completely gel, and like, you know, on one ping you know exactly what they want. But that being said, that's literally not with everybody. So I think really the information that needs to be communicated during a fight is what you see around you, where the teams are around you. Asking questions about, do you think we should, take this fight? Really just giving as much information about the teams around you so everyone on your team knows where they can stand, where they can move, where they can peek. Very, stuff like that is also very good to know and ask questions and stuff like that. Another thing that's very important is maybe you're in a fight or you see a team out in front of you and maybe they get split, or you see their Caustic is running out in the open. This is where team communication and team synergy is very important, because this is where you need a team shoot, coordinate a team shoot. A team shot or team shooting is when 2 or more of your teammates focus fire one guy on the other team, effectively making it a 2v3 immediately. Team shooting is a skill that every pro player at the highest level really does, because it's an easy way for the other team to scramble or heavily weaken one of their 3 players, putting you at a very good chance of winning and wiping the fight very quickly. And also with communication, you can call out the damage done to an opponent, the color of their shield, how much damage you did, or if you cracked one, if they're flesh, how much health you think they have left, and really call out the team, and your whole team can start piecing together, these are the shields the other team has, these are the characters they have. Let's say you're sitting on 2 purples and you shoot a team and they have 2 whites. That's a green light that, hey, maybe we should push this if it's safe and we're not going to get third-partied. Go for it. It might be really good to approach that fight and take it, because you have such a shield advantage and the numbers are just in your favor. Communication is something you can really practice on your own in any pub, in any ranked. You don't need your teammates, because doing those call outs is just something that you build as a habit. I know I've done it. I do it in any pub and anything. I'm always just calling things out. Even if the other guy doesn't have a mic, I'm just practicing it. So it's something that you can build on your own, and it's one of those things that helps at any level of Apex. So really, when it comes to being a good teammate and communication, just don't ever be the guy that freezes up and in a fight, your teammates hear nothing from you, and when you guys get inevitably wiped, your teammates are chilling in the lobby and are like, hey dude, what happened to you? You said nothing. And you got beamed. So don't be that guy. Keep working on your communication, and it's gonna help your team a lot. Now we're gonna go with tip number 4. This is gonna be stay united as a team. So this is just a more like normal morale thing. Like, just try and be constructive with the criticism. This is a game, and everyone's gonna make mistakes, and everyone's gonna have, off days. You don't ever want to be like the teammate that is just putting everyone down, because it's just gonna make your teammates less likely to bounce back and perform at their peak, because they're gonna be just worried about the backlash. And if they make another mistake, they're just not gonna be playing comfortably, loose, and you just can't have your teammates playing like that. So make sure you're just constructive and you're positive. Pick up your teammates and just try and talk about what went wrong, so you guys as a team can grow from it. Also, on the united front, one of the biggest mistakes a team can make in game is getting too spread out. So like united from a morale standpoint, but also united as like in game, stay very close together. Like I was talking about earlier, high level teams will call out when a teammate runs away from their team and is spread out. They will pounce on him and they will kill him instantly, and you just don't want that. At the highest level, getting away from your team is just a huge mistake. So stick with your team while also raise them up, motivate them, try and talk about what went wrong, and grow as a team. So those are, I think, the very good things of growing as a team, and stay united and be positive. And with that, we come to our final tip, which is have an IGL, have an in-game leader, have that guy that's the designated leader of your team. So every team's gonna need a leader, obviously. The guy that makes the tough decisions and listens to everyone and makes the final decision that everyone else on the team has to be okay with. They don't have to be the best player. Sometimes it gets defaulted to them, but just because you're really good shooting wise doesn't mean you make great decisions. It needs to be someone that can process everything, the moment, and make the best decision for their team. And obviously the IGL is not always going to be perfect, but they will learn and they will grow, and it's the best way to make decisions. You don't ever want to be in a crucial situation and no one knows what to do and everyone just panics. You want to make a decision, and you want the whole team to commit to it. So having an in-game leader, having that designated leader really clears up the communication, clears up the comms, and it makes it so everyone's on the same page at all times. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. So if you guys enjoy this video, drop a like, a comment of any experience that you guys have with teams, anything you guys would like to see going forward. I'm going to be dropping that solo queue guide, like I said. So remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you guys want. And check me out at twitch.tv/princesimba93. I'm going to keep streaming. So thank you so much for the support. I love all of you guys. And I'll see you at the next video.